Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we're continuing our ongoing coverage of the war between the Russian Federation and the Ukraine. Now, first, we're going to start in the area of the Kursk incursion. Now, we do have casualty estimates, at least from the Ukrainian side of the equation. It is believed, as we speak, that between, and again, these are loose estimates because we're hearing a variety of estimates. But on the low side, it is believed that just over 500 Ukrainian troops have been killed, with over 1,500 wounded. Now, we have also received reports that up to 1,500 Ukrainian troops have been killed or missing in action, and up to 2,000 to 3,000 wounded in action. So on the high estimates, it is believed that the Ukrainians in the Kursk incursion have suffered between 4,000 to 5,000 casualties, and that is not just inside, obviously, of the Kursk Oblast itself. It is due to Russian operations, specifically Russian airstrikes that have taken place just across the border, just to the northeast of Sumy as well. So the estimates are early, but it is believed that Ukrainian forces have sustained fairly heavy casualties for the size and scope of the force disposition that has moved into the Russian Federation. That's probably why we are no longer seeing any sort of advances by the Ukrainian military taking place. These Russian blocking formations are in place, and the Ukrainians are having great difficulty in moving forward. They're also having great difficulty, and this is probably one of the most important pieces, of supplying its forces inside of Kursk. The Russians are conducting interdiction operations that are preventing the supply of the Ukrainian forces inside of Kursk. Additionally, it is becoming more challenging for Ukrainian forces to remove forces or evacuate forces from Kursk, given the propensity of the Russian Air Force to interdict Ukrainian forces on the ground, especially as they move in column formation near this the major R-200 arterial route into the Russian Federation. So we're going to continue to watch this very closely, but it's clear that the forward momentum of the Ukrainian army has been stifled, and what will happen next, it's difficult to say. We do know that there are additional Russian forces being moved into the region. There was one report stipulating that elements of the 22nd Corps of the quote-unquote Leningrad military district. Now, the problem with this is the 22nd Corps is actually in Crimea. I think what they meant to say in terms of these intel reports is the 44th Corps, the new 44th Army Group that was established because of the NATO membership of Finland. So elements of a motorized rifle division from the 44th Corps near to the east of St. Petersburg has been deployed to area of operations inside of Kursk Oblast, not the 22nd Corps. That would give you the impression that the Russians are moving essentially a motorized rifle division from the Crimean Peninsula, and that division is actually in the Leningrad military district. So not the 22nd Corps, 44. Now the Russians continue its very large-scale offensive operation in the Donbas. Now, the Russians continue to advance towards Pokrovsk. Once the Russians seize control of Pokrovsk, the question is what's next? what is going to happen next. Additionally, we have seen the Russians take control of the town of New York in this area here. Now, the Russians have just started to enter the outskirts of Toretsk as well, location here. Now again, once Toretsk, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, is seized and Pokrovsk is seized, what is next? Will we see an envelopment operation take place in areas just to the south of Kramatorsk, this area here? Or could we see the Russians then pivot to the south and look to envelop Volhodar? Difficult to say at this moment. We really don't know what the Russians are planning. It does appear that they really want to roll things up in the Donbas. They want to finish off their operations in the Donbas, take control of the remaining areas of Donetsk. That's northwest of Donetsk, especially Kramatorsk. I don't envision any peace treaty or ceasefire taking place without the Russians seizing control of Kramatorsk, Sloviansk, and some of these other larger towns and cities located in the Donbas. Now, there has been new estimates about how long the Ukrainian army is going to be able to hold out under present conditions. Now, this does not mean that this could change due to a rapid influx of U.S. military technology and money and weapon systems. That could change this estimate. But it is believed right now that under the current Russian momentum that is taking place in Donbas, the current expansion of the Russian armed forces, the current intensity of combat that is taking place, that it is believed that a Russian victory will probably occur in the middle of the year 2026. So another good year and a half of fighting, and it is believed by that time the Ukrainian military will at that point be forced to capitulate. Now, we don't know, obviously, territorial gains. We do believe prior to the ending of the conflict, the Ukrainian military will start to fall apart. You will then see very rapid Russian advances. Now, there's talk that the Russians will arrange the capitulation of Kharkov. It's also possible that the Russians will also seek the capitulation of Zaporizhia and claim all of the areas in Zaporizhia. There's also talk that the Russians could also seek the capitulation of Odessa. Very difficult to say at this point, but again, estimates right now based on analysis is that the war could end in 2026. So more to come. As always, thank you for joining us, and we will have more very, very soon. Have a good day.